Martin Luther had a dream with it. I'm trying to get some cream with it. Probably bring the whole team with it. So if I hit this news, let me finish. It'll cost you nothing to mind your business. I'm a quack, my patience is the thinnest. So let the kid take a nap without a ransom. Shorty say I smell good and that I'm handsome. That's the same game Delilah ran on Samson. Let me spin the block, I'm about to make another anthem. I'm in another dimension I can't explain. Who's your top 5? You better mention my name. And I'm doing it right now in real time. So even on my darkest days, I will still shine. Probably gonna hate while I generate the wattage. With ease, I stack cheese to fill the whole cottage. Reunited like peaches and herb. How you rap so good, can you teach some words? Like a collar, I'm turning you down instantly. Used to move piff, now I move in epiphanies. Only double back for everything that was meant for me. The jewels that I spit be high end, Tiffany's. Martin Luther had a dream with it. I'm trying to get some cream with it. Probably bring the whole team with it. So if I hit this news, let me finish. It'll cost you nothing to mind your business. I'm a quack, my patience is the thinnest. Writing rhymes in my sleep, writing rhymes in my sleep. Writing rhymes in my sleep, writing rhymes in my sleep. Yeah, yeah.
And you heard it first here, ladies and gentlemen, on the No Shortcut Show with Midas Fame and Mr. Barrett Gruber that's joining us today. That will be on digital streaming platforms this week. That's Writing Rhymes in My Sleep by yours truly, Midas. Shout out to everyone who's here. Ladies and gentlemen, come on in, say hi. Let us know where you are. We are here with, of course, Famous and our special guest / co-host, because he is a producer and co-host of his own podcast by the name of All About Nothing Podcast. We had the pleasure of joining him the night after the election for an election recap. We did a dump over there. we cleaned up and came home. Yeah, and shout out to Zach, who couldn't.
I couldn't get Zach to join us, so he's busy. He's busy work. He's got a job. He can't.
Shout out to Zach, man. I'm sure he's gonna catch the replay and catch all the wonderful things that we say about him. And I enjoyed him, man. Famous. I think you missed him the night that you had to sign out a little bit early.
Right, yeah.
But he was off the chain, man. Super hilarious guy, very animated. So shout out to Zach, man. We have to run this back sometime. Based on his schedule and allow him an opportunity to join us as well.
Absolutely.
How you guys doing today?
It's a Tuesday. We're rolling through, right? I mean,
yes, sir.
It's the Tuesday after a Thanksgiving week off. I didn't take the whole week. I tried to take. I took most of the week off, but how was y'all's Thanksgiving?
Took the whole week off. Yeah, we didn't film last week. I didn't have any performances, any gigs, any shows, and I just left it like it was, man, and just took advantage of an opportunity to rest. My son was out of school all week, spent the first half of the week with him and half of Thanksgiving Day. Thanksgiving Day I went to visit my sister and brother-in-law. That's where the family congregated on both sides this year. Yeah, we took a little road trip, couple of hours on the road there, couple of hours on the way back, and delicious food though, and shout out to my Aunt Flo, who when she's Aunt like, Flo. You want to take, and shout out to my mom and everybody else too. But my Aunt Flo, my mom asked me, don't want to take any leftovers back. And I was like, my Aunt Flo came and what do you want? I was like, well, just give me a little bit of everything, and a little bit of everything is what she gave me.
Still eating, huh?
I mean, I finished up Sunday. I ate one of my desserts last night, and I have a piece of pound cake to finish sometime today. But on Thanksgiving Day, I just ate one plate. I was proud of myself for that. Like I was saying the week before, as you get older, and I gotta drive, I can't be all miserable. You know what I mean? No napping.
Yeah.
So I ate one plate, just a little this, a little that.
Yeah, not to be too TMI, but I have found that I suffer from like is it IBS, whatever,
Mm-hmm.
you know, when you eat
irritable bowels.
irritable
Yeah.
bowel. Yeah. You can't,
Yeah.
I
You
can't
don't want
have,
to force it on yourself.
I mean, we're all here. We're all pretty much the same age, right?
Yeah, yeah.
We're all in our mid
We're all
40s.
grown. We're all grown.
Yeah.
We know
Wisdom is key.
that's
Wisdom
right.
is key.
We know what hurts us in the long. We
Yeah.
figure it out, and then we avoid those things.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed. Yeah. So wisdom is key, man. And you want to be smart and wise. You hate to reach this age in life and make mistakes based upon eating too much
Mm-hmm.
and based upon eating the wrong things. If we know stuff is going to do us a certain type of way, or we go over the limit, it's our job to make sure that doesn't happen.
Especially if you're visiting family, you have to have an exit strategy.
Exit strategy. Yeah, you don't want to be in there and walk out and everybody looking at you.
Somebody knocking at the bathroom door.
Yeah, they not going to knock.
I know you were in here.
They do it. We got plenty of kids out there that don't respect the door. The door's locked. It's occupied.
Right.
It's occupied, man. It's occupied. So we just try to be on our best courtesies, when we're visiting other places and all of that, and be respectful of all of the rooms in the house, especially the bathroom. We're not even going to charge you for this bit of advice today, ladies and gentlemen. This is free 99, our holiday Black Friday special.
Yeah, it's a giving Tuesday. Today's Giving Tuesday, so we're giving out.
Hey, Thanksgiving is not just one day a year. Thanksgiving is every day of the year, man.
For sure. What's good, Juan?
Juan joining us.
Who's all out there, ladies and gentlemen? If you're here, maybe my phone on the side is lagging, but if you're here, definitely say hi. I think we have a few viewers currently, and feel free to share this, ladies and gentlemen. And before we proceed, I want to shout out everybody that's joining us live right now on YouTube. And if you're catching the replay on Spotify or Apple Music, thank you for being here. Thank you for all of it. And make sure you click the like. Do not leave here today without clicking the likes. We're trying to boost our algorithms. And feel free to share this on your individual timelines. If you are a friend of any of these gentlemen, including myself on the screen, share this on your timeline. And invite some friends to come hang out with us for the next hour. So
let's do that. Let's do that. Hey, man, I just kept looking to my left and my right because I got my dog at the door on the left, and on my right, I saw the UPS guy just showed up, and that's my Christmas present. I already know what it is, so I think I'm going to go ahead and open it.
It's something that the missus ordered for you?
Yeah, but she
go ahead and open it.
Involved ahead of time because she wanted to make sure it was the right thing, so I think go ahead and put that thing to use.
Go ahead and open it. It was nice knowing you.
Nah, we're at that stage, man, where we're at that stage where she buys me stuff that'll benefit her. So
okay. So if you open it, it's a plus for everybody.
Yeah, actually, and today is our 10-year anniversary.
Oh, so we gotta hit the applause for yourself for that.
Something, Barrett. Yeah.
Oh, he's got it. Okay.
Yeah, appreciate that. That.
Yeah.
As a podcaster, you come with the sound effects.
Yeah,
right?
for sure. That's right.
Yeah. So
it's our 10 year. So and then these boxes just showed up as these cookware that I've been having my eye on for the past year or two. And she finally broke down and got it. Because I was going to get it myself. I was going to get it like in September. And she was like, oh, man, I was trying to hold on for Christmas. I was like, man, I can wait. So it really benefits her because I'll be cooking for her in it. So
Yeah. Hey, it's all good, man. Yeah, but that's a good thing, though, when you like having a significant other and you can purchase a gift for them, but it's like something you could do together. I mean, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, because you got to eat.
Yeah, exactly.
Food has to be cooked.
Gotta eat.
Yeah,
man.
that's a love language, huh? Talk about it.
For sure.
Talk about it.
For sure it is.
So Romeo Famous.
Y'all come on down. I'll cook you up something too in my new hex clad.
Is
that what you got? Okay.
Yeah, buddy. Yeah, Chef Ramsay sold us a year or two ago, and I finally went ahead and got it.
See, my mother picked us up hex clads a couple years ago because she can't walk through Costco and not have one of these salespeople like approach her, and she
Yeah.
gets into it, and then she buys 3 sets, and then those get
Ah,
given away for Christmas.
Yeah.
yeah.
Last year, so we got the Hexclad, like the frying pans and everything like that,
Mm-hmm.
and then that changed over last year or the year before. She added the pots, so we
Mm-hmm.
have the
Okay.
Hexclad pots now too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're
Adding
great.
on.
There's nothing
Adding.
better than able to take a steel Brillo pad to clean and make sure
Uh-huh.
you've gotten it real clean.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Works
Hey,
really
That's
well.
very true.
Juan said he bought his wife a trip. Wait. I don't know
Hey.
if that
Okay.
counts. I don't know if that
Is this
Well,
a
counts.
one-way
well,
trip?
he's gonna
Is this
go
a
too,
one-way
right?
trip, Juan?
Yeah, you going too. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's got the No Shortcuts cruise coming up that we were just speaking about in February. For our
Yeah.
community, ladies and gentlemen, if you're interested in hopping on board, definitely, Juan, if you want to put your number out there for them to contact you as far as the details are concerned, feel free to do so. Former guest of the show, Mr. Juan Velasquez, former
Yeah.
guest of the show, my brother, Matthew Hardison, with Smooth Sales joining us.
What
My
up?
mother is here. As always,
Hey.
representing the Our Power community, which is her platform. So thank you guys for joining us. And if you're just joining us and you don't know who Mr. Barrett Gruber is, Famous
Yo.
and I had the opportunity to do a recap the day after the election on his podcast, All About Nothing podcast that he produces and is a co-host, also with Mr. Zach King, who couldn't be with us today. And Barrett is also a voiceover talent QA, not Q&A, QA engineer. So we're gonna find out about that stuff as well today. Mr.
Yeah.
James F. Masters,
What up, James?
former guest. Come on in. And James, I think, just released some more music. James, I played something at the top of the program. Not sure if you heard it, but I got something else coming this week as well. So I'm trying to compete with James, man. I'm trying to
see who put out the most before the
hard
end of
act
the
to
year.
follow. Yeah, the fourth quarter, man. Fourth quarter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
James is churning them out, man. He's churning them out.
Yeah, definitely, man. So we hope everybody had a great Thanksgiving holiday. Hope that you got a chance to get some rest, press that reset button, and enjoy some time with family and friends and all of that. We missed you guys last week, but we're beyond thrilled to be back with you guys today and do our usual Tuesday meetup at noon Eastern Standard Time, whatever your time zone happens to be. Thank y'all so much for being here. We appreciate you.
For sure.
Well, I
Yeah,
appreciate you guys having me on because otherwise my Tuesdays get monotonous and there's nothing going on.
Yeah, see, it all works out. And that reminds me of something. We had a theme many episodes ago, because this is what, episode 114? 114, okay. Community over competition, right? So we come from the aspect of, like, how people sometimes create competition just because you kind of do the same thing, and you might be a little standoffish, or like, well, like keeping all the secrets to yourself, type of thing, but we believe in community over competition. So I think what we're doing right now is actually practicing what we preach, but also kudos to you, because you were here when we had on Mr. Matt Villardebo.
Oh yeah,
I think you were, yeah. And so we began chatting back and forth then, and you had us on your platform first.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, obviously you believe in that theory as well, as far as community over competition. So,
that's one of those things that I think that we really enjoy a lot, is having other podcast hosts come on our show, because it gives us an opportunity to really, like, use each other to try and build that platform. We've had multiple podcast hosts. The guys that we lost this year to the Best of Columbia, because this was ours from last year. I don't know if
nice.
We won this one last year.
We can make some noise for that. But All About Nothing podcast.
The difference is this one.
Show off all the plaques.
This one's Best of Columbia, but runner up.
Okay, that's great, man. But so with that being said, first of all, how do we get into the drawings?
Nominations. Look, the nomination period starts sometime in May, end of May, beginning of June. We'll have to make sure that we coordinate, because what we need more podcasts in there, because the guys that won this year, I think were the runners up the year we won.
Okay.
So ultimately, what we want to do is we want to have enough nominations in there, so it's a more legitimate contest. Because if there's only 3 or 4 or 5, one of our partner podcasts, Welcome to Wonderland with Ami, her podcast was also got several nominations and a bunch of votes for hers too. So we'll do that. Yeah, we'll do that for sure. I'll make sure y'all are included in that. We'll make that work.
Yeah, absolutely.
That, man.
And what it brings about is relationships with other podcasters. And you made a good point, because at the end of the day, it's basically cross promotion. I'm bringing today we're bringing our audience to get familiar with what you do, as vice versa, what you did the night you had us on your show, All About Nothing podcast. Make sure you look it up, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, Amy.
Yeah. I'm really hoping we gave you all the nothing or boast. Ami.
Ami. I thought one eye saw an I, the other eye saw an L.
It's our age. That's our age.
Hey, got 2040.
Speaking of our age, check this out. I got a quick age story, man. I was yesterday. We were taking lunch to one of the dorms at the prison. So we do this every year where we'll feed one whole dorm, and different churches will, sponsor a dorm. In the dorm that we sponsored this year, it's like 300 of them, right? So I went to Chick-fil-A. We got 300 Chick-fil-A meals. And when I got there yesterday, it was me and another older guy, definitely an older guy, pushing the carts of the meals in. And then there was 2 other guys that seemed to be about my age too, that kind of help us out. And Robert Moore, he was there with us.
And former guest.
But he was just walking, and one of the prison guards came up to us, say, "Hey man, how y'all doing?" Whatever, start talking to us, and then he said, "Y'all got the 2 old guys pushing the carts, and y'all are just not doing anything." I was like, "Wait a minute."
Where were you when we were pushing
Why did I get to be one of the old guys?
He included you in my God.
Because it was me and my man Chip is like 60, so he was like, "Yeah, y'all got the 2 old guys pushing the cars, and you young fellas." I was like, "Yo, I thought I was the young fellas." I've been growing here the past couple weeks.
Come in a little bit in the key places, but I've been very fortunate.
But Jerry, what happens, and Travis and I know. What happens is it comes in right here, and then it starts to spread around here, and then it just works its way.
Yeah. If I can get the full gray, I'll keep it. But I do this for about a month, and then I get tired of it, and I'm gonna shave everything off again because it's
No Shave November, right?
It just never turns out the way I want it to, so I give up too soon. So I'm gonna get rid of it.
There are so many things you're not supposed to do in November now. There's too many.
I guess they figure we're gonna eat so much and all of that. You got to just take a break from everything.
Yeah,
you can't have it all the way across the board how you want it, man.
Yeah. I might be participating in Dry January this year. We'll see how that goes, but I might do that. Dry January, no alcohol January.
Oh, that's easy for me.
Yeah.
Only because I went through so many years where alcohol was. We had so many friends that drank, every party there was alcohol and stuff like that. And I hated the way I woke up. Like, it wasn't even like it was an out of control thing. It was just like, if I had enough, I was going to wake up feeling sick the next day.
Feeling bad.
Yeah. So
I left that.
Alcohol is one of those vices that I never really formed. It wasn't something that took over. So now it's easy. Somebody's like, "Oh, we have a big party," or whatever. We're at the bowling alley. They buy a beer, and it's like I can usually pass on that. But
me too. I'm not much of a beer guy at all, and even like the hard alcohol, I don't do much of anymore. It's just wine. We'll drink wine at dinner, a few nights a week. But
keep the blood pressure down.
Yeah,
there you go.
Better late than never. That's
What's
right,
up, Robin.
Hey, Robin, how are you?
Yeah. Robin Barbie and the Barbs, another faithful supporter of our community, and as far as the chairman of the board and all of the music in the area, she's an avid concert attendee. We appreciate you for being here.
Robin got some snow this morning, she said, or last night, overnight.
Oh, she got some snow?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Y'all were supposed to get some up in the upstate, right? Up in the
I'm in Rock Hill.
Yeah, that's what I mean. But okay, so in Rock Hill, y'all didn't see any flurries or anything this morning?
Oh, not this morning. So okay, and
parts of Charlotte got it.
parts
Okay.
of Charlotte.
Mhm.
Okay, yeah. Well, we might see. Of course, there probably was no accumulation. I
Right.
assume, but it's definitely very chilly. I think yesterday morning when I got up, it's like 26 degrees, and it was like around the same this morning. Like upon
Mhm.
first waking up, then it gets a little warmer, I guess, into the 40s, and then as that sun
Yeah.
sets,
Yeah.
so does the
Cold.
temperature.
Man, I
What
was
did
out this
James say?
morning. I was actually in Rock Hill this morning, and I bought this hat
Oh,
while I was
really?
out because it was too
Cover
cold,
your
man. I went
cover
to
your
TJ
ears
Maxx
up.
real quick. It's like, what time they
Yeah,
open? I had to get me a hat, yo. It was way too
yeah.
cold for me.
It's been
Mhm.
so I'm down here in Columbia,
Mhm.
and our low this morning was 23.
Mhm.
Okay,
I say
23.
I know that because I was a sucker and bought one of these weather stations off of TikTok.
Yeah.
So
Oh yeah,
but it works great. I can send you the link.
yeah.
You guys can check out my weather all the time if you want.
Oh,
Yeah.
nice, nice.
But yeah, so yeah, this morning it was 23, and I didn't see any flurries here that I know of, and I haven't heard anybody tell us that we had flurries. But again, this TikTok thing, I saw someone posted on TikTok that there's supposed to be a storm coming next week that may bring
Really?
significant snow, like next Thursday, Friday, that
Yeah.
sort of thing.
Mhm.
So we'll
So
see.
Mhm.
we might have somewhat of a white Christmas. I guess not on Christmas Day, but around
Okay.
these parts, you don't really get snow until what, late January,
Yeah,
early
January. Yeah.
February. So it'd be
Mhm.
yeah.
cool if we saw. And I know my mother, she's still listening. She loves it when it snows. So
Yeah.
we
I'm
may
from New
see a little
York, and
bit.
I don't like it.
You don't like it.
I
You
don't
hate
like the
it, huh?
cold, man. I hate the cold.
Yeah.
Like 40 degrees. I'm like, get out of here.
Well, and I just keep telling myself, it's like even though it's a little chilly, but it's a lot better than being hot and sweaty
Yeah.
like summertime.
I could
That's what
take
I
it.
tell
I could
myself.
take the hot more than the cold
You
for
want to take
sure.
the hot?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. I'm the same.
Really?
I'm the
Yeah.
same.
Even
I
though
can
you
I
bundle up
can
and put some layers on and
I don't like doing it. I don't
see
like it.
really?
because everybody in my house is hot natured. So like
Mhm.
Uh,
the house has to stay cold. My office right now is 71 degrees.
Mhm.
okay.
And so like being able to keep, and my office is over the top of the garage, so it's
Uh-huh.
always going to be colder
Mhm.
in here than it
Right.
is in the rest of the house, or it's
Yeah.
going to be warmer in the
Yeah, in
summer.
the summertime. Yeah.
Sometimes it'll be like 83, 84 degrees in my office, and I'm completely comfortable. That's
Yeah.
perfect.
Whoa.
That's
But
how
if
I
I
am.
go,
Wow.
but if I go out into the house, like leave my office into the house,
Uh,
it'll be 72 degrees, and it's
mm,
too cold. It hits me.
Yeah.
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 Okay.
I'm the
Yeah.
same way. Robin
I
hates
don't
the
think.
cold too.
Yeah, I don't think I could make it in an 80-something degree room. I don't know.
little,
Not me.
little muggy.
It's the
Yeah.
humidity. It's
Like,
not the.
Yeah, I
It's
want
not.
to
that
Yeah,
crack
me?
it's
a
not the heat.
Is that
window.
me?
It's a dry. It's a dry heat. It's the
Yeah, I
humidity
don't
that
know,
kills you.
man. I don't
Yeah.
know. I'll be trying to crack a window. Then when you go outside, a room is hot in the summertime when you go outside and feel cooler outside.
Yeah, your glasses fog up when you get outside.
that too. Through the air conditioning.
Yeah.
I gotta wipe these things off right quick,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Barrett, are you
mom.
from? Oh, I'm sorry. What'd she say?
I was
Yeah,
about
she
to
loves
ask
this
Barrett
stuff.
the same question too. You're right on point. Go ahead.
Yeah, so you're from Columbia, originally born and raised?
No, I was born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia. I
Mhm.
grew up
Oh,
between Decatur and Tucker on the east side of Atlanta.
okay.
So grew up Braves fan, Falcons, Hawks. When
Yeah.
we had the Atlanta Knights hockey team, we went to hockey games. We had the Atlanta Thrashers,
Mhm.
we went to Thrashers games. So
Mhm.
no,
Wow.
I grew up inside the perimeter of Atlanta, and I like to visit some.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
busy
It's
place.
it's busy now, man. It's
Yeah.
busy.
That's
Yeah,
how I
I
feel
mean,
about New York. I don't want to go back just every once in
that's
a
busy
while, but
too.
I'm over it.
Yeah, always busy there. The city that never sleeps, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure. I used to work in Columbia, Barrett, years ago, and we moved to Asheville, or the Asheville area, when I was opening a new store out there. And whenever people would ask, like customers say, "Hey, where you from?" and I would say, "Yeah, I was working in Columbia before we came here." And everyone had the exact same sentence, like verbatim, that I'd never
Really?
heard before, but I heard this sentence at least 30 times, the exact words, "Man, Colombia is the hottest place on earth."
You know,
Everyone in Asheville thought the exact same thing.
Really? I
Columbia is
thought it
the
was
hottest place
Charleston.
on earth.
it's a weird thing because like I grew up in Atlanta when I was growing up in Atlanta, I don't ever remember it being as hot as it is here in the summers in Columbia. Like
Wow.
this past summer, I think we had like 2 or 3 weeks where temperatures were at or approaching 100 degrees or over 100 degrees like every single day for like it felt like a month. But leading up to that, like in June and a good portion of July, man, we weren't even getting out of the mid 80s. It was a great spring into summer, and then all of a sudden we get to August and it's just like bam, it's 100 degrees.
Yeah.
But but like, that growing up in Atlanta, people would say all the time, it was like, you live in Hotlanta.
Yeah.
Atlanta.
And like, I've got friends in Los Angeles that will complain when it gets to be 82 degrees. Like, I'm like, you have no idea.
Yeah.
You have no clue what it's like to live in a place that temperatures get up to 100. I mean, they only have to go to Death Valley where I think 134 is like the world record in heat. That's only a couple hours outside of LA.
Yeah, Charleston gets pretty hot too. Mom, you're right. I wouldn't be able to survive in that 80. That's 80 something degrees. I'm looking for the door, window, or something.
Yeah.
Well, Charleston, I was in Charleston on the 4th, playing a concert. Shout out to DJ Sticks. He came out from my community and hung out with me, and man, it was hot, man.
It is. It is hot out there. That's pretty much why I started taking July off. Like I don't do any weddings because most of the ones down here and in Charleston are outdoors. I just started after like 2 summers ago. I said, I'm not doing July weddings anymore. So I just I black out the whole month.
We did a live podcast recording at Hendrix rooftop back in July earlier this year for the Soda City Comic Con, which was coming up in August. So we did a live promotional podcast with the guys from Brock from Donald Brock from the Soda City Comic Con, and like it was. I mean, it's one of those situations where it's hot when you stand up and your shorts are just soaking wet.
Yeah, it's pretty hot. When you had an accident,
the IBS got to you.
And by that point, either could have been true. It was.
By that point,
they were extremely. They were extremely accommodating, though. They had a fan that was blowing right at us. You could hear it in the microphones. Like it was unbelievably warm, unbelievably warm. But we had a really good time, and we got to talk about the Soda City Comic Con. And ultimately that was the goal, was try and get, we did some trivia questions and everything. We had a good turnout. There were probably 15 or 20 people up there on the rooftop deck with us. But
cool.
Yeah. July on top of a building in downtown Columbia.
Man. No way.
Yeah.
We're gonna try and do that one indoors next time.
Right.
Wow, that's wild, man. That's wild. So what brought you to the South Carolina area? Or first, before we get to that, just give us a little bit about your childhood and things in the Decatur portion of Atlanta.
Okay. Yeah. So my parents were they dabbled in real estate. So they would buy houses and flip them. And so we spent a lot of time moving around in Decatur from house to house as they would fix them up and move them off. And sell them. So we would move to the next one. And then we finally moved to a house near Tucker, Georgia, which was in the I guess the North Lake area. And we moved into that one, and pretty much that was it. We lived there until I was 18 or so. I grew up, playing baseball, going to school. It was it was a basic white guy growing up.
Okay. Hey, we wouldn't know nothing about that, Barrett.
Look, we're all here to educate each other.
Normal white guy stuff. You know how we do.
Yeah, Famous, you remember? I'm just having fun, man.
Basic white guy. But I went to high school, and what was really weird to me was like when I went to high school, we didn't have middle schools. I grew up in and we didn't have middle school. So like I went from elementary school, which is K through 7, to high school, which was 8 through 12. So like I tell people that I was in high school for, my 5th year of high school was my senior year. They're like, oh, they held you back.
Oh, sorry, man.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay. But I got into I right out of high school I got into working in radio. I went to Connecticut School of Broadcasting in Marietta, Georgia. I went to Connecticut School of Broadcasting and got picked up right out of that doing co-producer for a morning show, Moby in the Morning, which was a country artist or country DJ, and fell in love with radio. I just loved doing it. But eventually I came to terms with the fact that there was no way I was ever going to support a family working in radio. So I moved on to getting an IT job working for a company, NCR, that I worked for about a year before they said, hey, we're packing up everything and moving to West Columbia, South Carolina.
Wow.
They offered me a job. I moved here, built a house, and have been here ever since.
Wow.
Awesome, man. So you've had the bug of like broadcasting and radio for pretty much the period, I guess, when you went to college and you just declared a major and everything.
Yeah. So in college, I majored. In college, I actually majored in applied mathematics with a minor. I was doing a minor in journalism, mass broadcast communication. So
very nice.
I figured if the math thing got too complicated, that I can at least fall back on my voice.
Yeah. That's cool, man. Wow,
that's funny, man. I had that same thing happen to me when I was in high school. I interned at a radio station in New York City. It was a smooth jazz station, CD 101.9. And, I loved radio. And same thing, I was, being convinced that I wasn't going to make any money in it. And so when I went to college, I went to school for marketing, and then because everyone kept telling me, oh, there's nothing in radio. You're not going to do anything there. So then I just let that thing go. And now here we are. We're back.
Here we are. Yeah. Yeah. Matt Villardo is here, by the way.
What up, Matt?
Hey, Matt.
In the comments. Shout out to him, former guest of our platform.
What's happening?
How we met Barrett actually that day. So shout out to him. Hey, better late than never. Hey, that's why we're on for like an hour or so. We understand people need a window. It's lunchtime. You got to get you something to eat. You might have to, run an errand or whatever the case. But we try to give you guys enough open window where you can pop in, at least say hi and check us out for a few moments. And don't forget, ladies and gentlemen, the replay will be available on YouTube as the live is currently now, and also Spotify and Apple Music. That's No Shortcuts with Midas and Fame. And don't forget to check out
Apple Podcasts, not Apple Music. Yeah.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah. Well, you can still, I search it on Apple under the Apple Music app, right?
Oh, yeah. No, it's a separate app just for the podcast. I hadn't tried to do it that way. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah,
hey, like I say, me, subscribe to all three. You hadn't even tried.
Well, I subscribed to Apple Podcasts, but I never tried to get to it through Apple Music.
And then the important thing to do there is make sure that you listen on all three, so you get the
that's
run
the
numbers up.
And
I'm a little streaming farm.
That's right.
So you can find it directly through the Apple Music link, and I'm always, I guess, just people person by nature, but like I've been saying the last few weeks, man, everybody I run into when I'm out and having conversation and stuff, I tell them about the show, and then I help them find it on their phones or whatever they need to do to subscribe. So we got to be in this manner, Barrett. We have to be like our own street team. Yeah, you know what I mean? We don't have a street team department, so it depends. It falls upon us to make sure we spread the word about our particular platforms and get our subscriptions up and all of that good stuff.
What you do is when you go to a concert or you go to an event, you connect to the Wi-Fi, and then if you got an iPhone, you pull up that AirDrop thing, and you just share to everybody that'll accept it on Wi-Fi.
That's a good idea.
I'm gonna do that in Publix.
It's a little, exactly. It's a little invasive.
At Walmart.
Who's doing this? But I'm gonna go ahead and hit this button and listen to it.
But that's a bit of a hack, right? Like that's
yeah.
interesting. I never thought of doing it
Yeah.
like that, you know. So even if I don't get to speak to a person directly, they still have access
Airdrop
to
it. I
yeah,
like it.
yeah,
Yeah, everybody. So we went to we were at a concert down here at the Township Auditorium, and Zach was on his iPhone or whatever and connected to the Wi-Fi, and he did the airdrop to send out. I think he was trying to send out a picture to see how many people he could send it to or how many would accept it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it was
And
either him or
what was
it
the
was either him
outcome?
or Trent. Yeah,
Yeah,
and
what was the outcome?
I want to say there were probably 5 or 6 that accepted it, but there were probably 70 or 80 people that showed up on
Okay.
that
Well,
Yeah.
on that airdrop list.
That's 5 or 6 or whatever that you might not have
Right.
had otherwise. So there's all
That's cool.
types of little hacks, I suppose. You know, that's where we have to just brainstorm and come up with different strategies. I'm gonna remember
Exactly.
that and
That's a
see
cool
that.
experiment.
Absolutely, man.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
I like it.
Yeah, man. So tell us about this voiceover QA. Wait, voiceover talent QA engineer.
So QA engineer is what I do for my day job, because you got to have something to pay for this habit of
Yeah.
being a podcast. So QA engineer, basically, I'm a software tester. I lead a team that does property and casualty insurance software testing for a company.
Okay.
And so that's my day job. That's what I do. You know, I have a lot of offshore resources that I work with. So my day usually starts about 5:30 in the morning, but I'm fortunate enough it wraps up around 2:30 in the afternoon. So I have plenty of time in the afternoon. Voiceover talent. I've recorded commercials and spots and things like this. When I worked in radio, I was the voice for JetBlue before they ended their tenure as an airline service. But I was the voice of AirBlue for JetBlue, Blue Jet. I can't remember. Yeah, yeah.
That one.
Yeah, whichever one it was. But it was so long ago. But I recorded commercials and things like that. And recently I got into I guess applying to try and do voiceover work for audiobooks. And we finally had one. I finally got one that the author liked my voice, and we published that one earlier this year.
Sweet.
You know, it doesn't pay much, but at least it gives me, you know, control, and it gives me ability to continue to do do like that.
Yeah. Well, and that was your first one, right?
Yeah, that was my very first one. That was my very first one. Now I've auditioned for about 60 of them since then. But that was the one I've gotten so far.
Yeah.
So.
But and of course, as you land more, then you have negotiating leverage.
Yeah,
for
potentially.
Your pricing.
You know what? I'll take whatever. Matt's right. I did the robocalls for his campaign as well.
Hey, okay.
Chances are, if anyone out there got angry at Matt, it was because of my voice.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that. We want to get to it anyway, but I want to come back to the podcasting in a moment. But you know, you were running Matt's campaign.
Yeah.
Now, did you have something? Did you have experience in that already, or did Matt just say, "Hey, man, let's do it"?
So back in 2016, I did a lot of campaign work for Bernie Sanders, and that was either canvassing, phone calls, or basically those two. A very low level campaign member as far as that. Now, I also did some for when Hillary got the nomination. I did campaign and canvass for Hillary, walking in a lot of neighborhoods, doing a lot of phone calls, that sort of thing. And then in 2020, I didn't do quite as much. So when it came to the 2020 election, of course, because of the pandemic and everything, most of my focus was on voter. I guess voter interaction. So in 2020 I started volunteering. Well, volunteering, they pay us. Working the polls. Right. So here in Lexington County, I submitted an application and just to be a regular poll worker. And I can't remember the name of the individual that was in charge in Lexington at that point, but I got a phone call from her that day asking if I'd be interested in actually running one of the precincts. And I said,
Wow.
sure, why not? I had supervisor experience and I'd managed people before, so I thought, this shouldn't be too difficult. It wasn't. It was an experience. The pandemic election, in-person election, was one of the busiest that it was unbelievable. My particular precinct, we had about 1,600 people in line for the general election in 2020, November, whatever
Really?
the date was. Yeah, it was a ton of people in line. They lined up well before we even opened. Like we showed up at like 5 o'clock in the morning to start setting everything up. And there were already people standing outside ready to vote.
Wow.
It was an event. So I did that for the following elections. I did that in I don't know. I guess I did that for the midterm election. I did that for the 2024 election. No, I didn't do it for the 2024 election. There were some other elections, primaries, that sort of thing since then. But yeah, running elections, it became important to me that it's really difficult sometimes to have polling precincts open because there just aren't enough people volunteering to help out with running elections. And those that a lot of the people are retired. They're of an age where they have that time available to them, but it's just difficult. It makes things run very slowly. So I made an effort to recruit people that were my age and younger, so that we had a more
efficient.
Yeah, efficient's good.
Yeah, efficiency is always good.
But then Matt had been a guest on the podcast in 2022 when he ran for State House, and then he knocked on my proverbial door and asked me if I'd be interested in helping out with his campaign. And we're at the campaign announce party where he basically acknowledges me as his campaign manager.
You're like, I thought I was
he was drafted. He was drafted.
It was good. It was a good time though. A lot of what I did for Matt was I made sure that we were keeping his website very up to date. When he came on y'all's show, we made sure that we posted that video so that people could see it, so people could see who Matt was. See exactly what it is that he wanted to do and how he wanted to represent District 26. And ultimately, I in the end, yeah, we lost, but I look at it as Matt received more votes this time than he did in the 2022
progress.
Election. It was, I'm hoping that I'll get the numbers here at some point, but I think more people voted for Matt than for the opposite party. Because for a lot of people, they go in there and they just pull the one ticket. They just pull Democrat or they just pull Republican.
Yeah.
And I don't see not that there's anything wrong with it. I just don't see that as being an educated vote. You're not necessarily voting. You're just voting on the party. You're not voting on the person or the issues that they represent. And I think when we do get a chance to actually look at the numbers, we're going to find that when it comes down to vote to vote, I think Matt put up the best fight for his district that anyone possibly could have.
That's great.
And if Matt decides to run again, I will certainly.
That's what I was going to ask.
Campaign.
You going to run it back?
Yeah, well, I don't know if he'll want me as his campaign manager. He may say now.
I'm sure he will.
Well, I'm gonna have you be my campaign manager when I run for. No, I'm serious. I'm
I'm
going to.
There's here. You guys live in South Carolina too. Here's the thing about South Carolina. South Carolina now has what they call a supermajority, both in the House and the Senate. There are Democrats that were elected to their seats this time that defied the odds. They got elected in a very heavily Republican winning period during the 2024 election, and basically they're going to be in their seat, their proverbial seats, their projected seats or whatever, the ones they were elected to, and they're going to have almost nothing to do. Because the Republicans run the show. The Republicans have the ability to There will be no filibustering. There will not. They have enough votes that they can count. They can cancel. They can shut down any filibusters. They don't need any Democrats to vote with them in favor of anything. I am working right now to try and encourage a couple of the Democrats that were elected that now is the time to take advantage of the seat you hold and the potential that you could now run for something that is going to impact the whole state. Like Russell Ott is a senator that was elected here in Columbia, and he starts his term in January, but it's a seat that he won't have anything that he's able to do.
Right.
So I'm already trying to encourage him. Now's the time to run for Congress. You know, I know you want to go into the Senate, but like I'm pushing that hard because he's probably the one guy that could beat Joe Wilson. And Joe Wilson's getting old. Who knows how long Joe Wilson's going to want to continue to run for this seat?
Yeah.
You know, so
well, I'm going to be up for town council in a couple of years, so I'm going to be tapping you. Maybe next year. Maybe next year. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But maybe next year.
You dead serious down there, Kirsch?
Yeah, town council, and then you know, we'll see what happens after that. But there's a mayor here that I have my eyes on.
Oh, yeah, in a good way, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm watching this dude.
Yeah, okay. You feel like you
lives right down the street.
So you got the binoculars out.
Yeah,
he's back behind you, knocking on the window right now.
In the bushes and what have you. Yeah. So you're seeing some change that needs to be made in your area. All right.
Yeah, absolutely. And Matt inspired me, man. When we spoke to Matt, he inspired me, and even when we spoke to Bump, you know, a few months ago, so it kind of inspired me to kind of start getting involved, you know, here locally, and then we're gonna see what happens. And Juan's running for mayor apparently. Juan for mayor.
Yeah. He could probably pull it off. He could probably pull it off. Juan, let's go. Let's do it, man.
Yeah.
Mayor of Fort Mill.
Mayor of Amor Artis.
Yeah, that too. That too, you know. Yeah, I think we have quite a few people in our community that could, you know, be successful at being in politics, especially starting on the ground level and deciding to work your way up and stuff.
Yeah, I think that's one of the biggest things is it's not necessarily about like what position you're running for. It's about inundating the market. You know, the number because South Carolina Republicans control everything because there are people out there willing to run for those offices. That there are, you know, and it starts from the bottom up. I mean, you got so many little seats that you can run for election for that whether they're partisan or not, just what we need is more options. And ultimately that's what it comes down to is that there aren't always a lot of options.
Yeah. Now you got another.
You're gonna be busy. You might
got another campaign. You know what I mean? You know,
that's one of those weird situations. I want to say yes to everybody. It comes down. It comes down to
and choose. Yeah.
It comes down to a timing thing,
right?
Yeah, and shout out to the Travel People podcast that Juan host, famous produces that. So guys, while you're searching up all your podcasts, whether it be No Shortcuts with Midas and Fame or whether it be the All About Nothing podcast, check out the Travel People podcast as
Absolutely.
Well. Really good. Really
and,
good.
And check out Women Worth in Weddings if you're in the market for that type of thing. We are starting to record again starting tomorrow.
Okay. I haven't heard from you guys in a little bit.
Yeah, it's been a long hiatus with the wedding season. So now we'll be recording a new batch of episodes tomorrow, and we'll keep it going, you know, until the spring, hopefully, and there might be another little hiatus, but hopefully we'll be recording enough at a time to get us through those busy periods, so we'll still have some content to get out. So I think tomorrow we should be recording 3 or 4 episodes, so we'll see.
Yeah, and I've had the pleasure of being a guest over there. Yeah. And shout out to Amy and Julia of Julie Events. Yeah.
Absolutely, man. So podcast talking, Barrett, the All About Nothing podcast. Was this your first podcast or did you do something else before this one? What was your start and why?
So so to start with what I did when I worked in radio, I got a morning show at a small radio station in Winder, Georgia called Southern Country AM 1300 WIMO. Okay. And one of the things that I was responsible for was a community chat like community program that aired once a week, where I would come in with community leaders and people that ran different organizations around Winder, Georgia, which was between Athens and Atlanta on Highway 316. It's like smack dab in the middle. It's one of those places you drive by and it's like, is there gas here? Oh, wait, yep, there was.
Yep.
Yeah.
But so I got into so fast forward basically 20 years later, I got into podcasting. I worked for a company with a number of people that were of a different political opinion than me. And because of that political opinion, I had to sit there and keep my mouth shut and not say anything while they talked all the smack about, liberals and progressives and things like that. So I had to sit there and listen to it. And then I don't know how we got to that point, but Ami, who said hello a minute ago, she encouraged me to jump on this podcasting thing.
Okay.
So I figured out, what it took. I already had a lot of the equipment, and I had to figure out how to code the actual like XML files, because I wasn't using software to distribute it at the time. I was just, so what I'd do is I'd open up Audacity with a microphone and record myself for about 30 or 45 minutes, just basically a running monologue. And then I would publish it. I would just update the RSS feed and publish it to everywhere that I could publish it. And I did that. I did that up until the pandemic. And then Zach and a good friend of ours, Trent, we picked them up I picked them up during the pandemic. And we did it like this. We did it over Zoom. We would record episodes. We would have guests on it and such. We'd talk about politics. But the whole reason that I thought the podcast was for me was because I could voice my opinion without having to hear anybody else's opinion back to me.
Yeah.
I could, I would pick out a couple news stories from the week before I'd record. I'd basically just give my opinion on how stupid I thought the Trump administration was. And I say that now knowing that there's a possibility that, come January 21st, that Kash Patel is going to come after me with his FBI ring. And
you might get canceled, man.
Yeah.
I'm still holding out hope that the aliens are going to come pick me up and take me home. Sometime between now and then.
Yeah. They saying they out there, man. Good grief.
We just use the podcast as we call it good therapy. Like we get on and we talk about the things that we want to talk about. Zach and I usually have a pretty similar opinion on stuff. And when we don't, we discuss it. We talk about why we have the opinions that we do and where they're different and why they're different. And we have interesting guests on. You guys came on. We had a couple weeks ago. We had a friend of the pod now, Winnie Tata. She's an author and book publisher, a small business book publisher. That she was fantastic.
Hey,
we've had a few TikTok stars come on the show. We've some locally here. We had Lori and her son Cole.
I saw some clips from that one.
Dude,
he's off the chain. Then he's like an old soul. How old is that guy?
14.
14?
He is 14 years old and easily one of the smartest kids that I have ever interacted with.
I saw those clips, man. I saw those clips. I was blown away too.
Yeah, that's
and
awesome.
Mom was just in the clips. Mom was just, she was just sitting there chilling, letting them go,
letting them cook.
Yeah, he was cooking.
I'm giving serious consideration to making that one segment 30 seconds to swear, and they making that a regular segment on the show where we allow a guest to have 30 seconds to basically swear. Just say whatever it is they want to say for 30 seconds. I will bleep it out. I'll take it. I'll take it and bleep it out so nobody gets in trouble. But
right.
It was a fun segment to do, and to be able to get a 14-year-old. I got permission from his mom to do it. To offer it to him, and it was a good time.
Yeah, that's see, awesome. we try to keep it clean over here.
Yeah,
this is lunchtime. This is lunchtime. He does a nighttime show.
Yeah. And are you guys are normally live when you do your show as well, right?
So we sometimes we'll go live depending. So if we have a guest that's trying to promote something that is coming out or is going to be available sooner than we would release the episodes, then we will do it live so that it gets out there, and then we'll release it during a regular scheduling, where that way that way they're getting their information out there. We've worked with we've worked with a company out of Camden, broadstreet.net or Broadstreet Network, broadstreet.net. They do a lot of marketing for people, and sometimes as part of their marketing, they'll include us to do a podcast. So one of the things that's coming up soon is that the oh crud, I can't think of it. It's the what's the raceway at Darlington? So Darlington Country Club.
Speedway.
Darlington Motor Speedway is near Darlington Country Club, and the Darlington Country Club is coming up on their 100th anniversary in 2026. So they'll be the country's going to be, the United States of America is going to be celebrating its 250th birthday, and the Darlington Country Club is going to be celebrating their 100th. So we'll be working with them, doing several podcasts with them, either on site and things like that, so that we can promote this coming up. Because Darlington Country Club is just one of the jewels here in South Carolina. They have lots of professional golfers that come through there. They hold big events, and they do a lot of charity work. So that's one of our big things is small businesses. We want to promote. We want to promote charity work. We want to promote charities and things like that, because those are the things that make the community better. And I think having progressive and even some, conservative leaders from around the computer, having them on a podcast to talk about the issues and ask them questions and hold their feet to the fire on things, I think it's a great thing to be able to do. And we like to use our medium as that.
Yeah. And I was curious. Man. So you started out recording just by yourself and talking. What? How difficult is that though, as opposed to like actually having someone else to talk back to you and everything?
So for me, it's easy.
Okay.
I say it's easy because if you if you come and hang out with me at some point, you'll know Barrett talks a lot. And if somebody doesn't hold up like a finger or hold up their hand, like I'll just keep going. I believe
kind of like Midas.
Yeah. I don't know, baby. You gotta have one. You gotta have one of them. You know what I mean? Yeah, like at least one person has to have that attribute. Because other than that, then there may be some dead space. You know what I mean, and things which you don't want to run that risk. So that's an important quality to have, especially being on a broadcast, a podcast, or radio or whatever. I just have never been in a. This is my second podcast that I've done, but I've never been in a situation where I had to just do all of the talking myself. So I was interested in if you found any differences but you said you found it to be fairly easy still.
Yeah. Circle breathing. As long as you're keeping the airflow and your voice just keeps working, then the chances are you'll probably just continue right through it. It just becomes a very cohesive, sometimes less cohesive than normal, but it becomes just a stream of consciousness that just sort of rambles through.
Yeah. Very interesting, man. Very interesting. Man. That's great, man. Yeah. And real quick, shout out to everybody for being here with us today. Anybody have any questions, anything? Let us know. I should have maybe
talk to us.
Yeah, maybe I said that a little earlier because we try to keep it at an hour for you guys that are on lunch and everything, as well as ourselves who have afternoon duties to participate in and parenting and all of that.
School's almost out. Hey, I'm glad I know that Barrett, that you're available at this time of day, man. We're gonna keep calling you. Say, hey man, what's Barrett doing today? Let's get him on the show.
Hey man, that's great.
I don't mind.
Yeah,
that's great.
Yeah, this will be a reoccurring. We're gonna start doing more of that, where we'll just have reoccurring co-hosts like we did with Juan and Shanali. Just kind of have folks on.
And James, we got to bring James back through.
So we've already formally done the interview. Now you're just a co-host, man. You're just a co-host. And just come on and shoot with us for an hour.
And you're already a co-host by nature. You're already a co-host by nature, so there's no need to just put you in the guest position.
You need somebody to pop in and do the weather forecast, the weather.
Yeah, you can read it off your thing.
Yeah.
It's 102 p.m., 50 degrees right now. Looking for cold tonight. Going to be a low in the 20s.
Yeah.
Clear skies though, so no chance of precipitation. Tomorrow back up into the 50s.
Yeah.
I don't know if any of that's accurate. I've not looked.
It's okay. I believe you.
We'll just put your camera. We'll put your camera in the little box on the corner of the screen and just have you on standby. And sorry, we didn't have time for Barrett, like Dave Letterman. Sorry, we didn't have time for Barrett today, but we'll see y'all next week.
That's what Jimmy Kimmel did to Matt Damon.
Yeah, Matt Damon.
Years.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I want to thank Bon Jovi, and I want to thank so and so for being on. Sorry, Matt Damon, we ran out of time again tonight.
Yeah, exactly. Man, sorry, Barrett, we ran out of time, but we'll see you next week. And you'll just be there like, hey.
That's good stuff, man. Y'all are crazy.
Yeah, man. Hey, give out your socials, Barrett. Give out your socials. Let everybody know how they can contact you.
So the All About Nothing podcast, you can find us at theallaboutnothing.com. We're on all the podcast platforms. We're on YouTube. We're on TikTok and Twitter.
Hey.
I said Twitter. So just so everybody knows, we no longer post anything to Twitter, formerly X or whatever that thing is. But we've moved into not because of any sort of protest against Elon Musk or Twitter, but just because we weren't really getting any sort of traction off of it. So It didn't make sense to continue to post something because we always had to shorten everything that we posted on X in order to make it fit, and that took more effort than just posting. So we moved away from it. But if you go to theallaboutnothing.com, there's links to every single one of our past episodes. You can go and find all of our social media. And that's the biggest thing is we just ask people to follow us and subscribe to the show. And, we're always looking for people to join our mailing list and so that, they can send us questions or they can respond. We have a telephone number. All of it's on our website that they can interact with the show. If you've got something interesting that you want to come on the show and talk about, we are happy to do it. I am working right now on an episode to have a hypnotherapist come on. And I will put myself into the mindset or to allow this individual to potentially hypnotimize
you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
We'll see how that works.
When I was at Winthrop for Welcome Week every year, there was I think his name might have been Tom DeLuca, but he was a hypnotist and he would
I know that name.
Yeah. So I can't remember if I ever had a friend that was hypnotized or not, like someone I personally knew. But he would actually hypnotize people, man, but make a show out of it. It was harmless and fun, like putting them in scenarios and they end up kind of reenacting certain things or acting out the scenario or whatever. But harmless entertainment, it seemed, But definitely hypnosis is definitely a real thing.
Yeah,
definitely a real thing.
We're working on that, and we've only got a few more episodes. We'll be starting our 8th season of the All About Nothing podcast coming up in January.
Yeah. Oh man, that's awesome, job, bro.
Man.
We'll keep at it, man. Keep at it, and definitely let us know how we can enter those award things that you were speaking about. We'd like to give it a go, I believe. What you think, Famous?
Yeah, for sure. We're gonna keep connecting on some podcast talk and ways we could learn some of your tricks, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely.
Look, all you have to do is abandon your family and friends, and you make
that's any type of success, right? Not saying
on my wedding anniversary, Barrett.
Well, not we don't want to use the word abandon, perhaps, right? That's a little strong.
Cast aside.
But
avoid, whatever.
Oh yeah, we do that anyway.
But in order to be successful at things, you do have to sacrifice that time, like with loved ones, sometimes, to get done what you need to get done, and hopefully they're understanding, like my family is, and all of that good stuff.
My family is very understanding as well, and we appreciate that for sure.
Well, and you guys both work in industries that require you to be away at night and
holidays usually.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I mean, for $50.
I DJ'd back when it was when I still had 2 turntables, like I didn't have a mic. Board. Yeah, and 2 turntables and a microphone. Yeah. Shout out to Beck.
Nice.
But that was like that was I DJ'd at an ice skating rink. Like I was the lead DJ on the weekends, Friday night, Saturday night, and then I had to manage the counter. I did that for several years.
Yeah, buddy.
Man, multitasking at its finest. That's
that's right.
I want to let everyone know that the chairman of the board will be at the Long Branch in Raleigh on Friday. Raleigh, North Carolina. They're calling it a reunion of some sorts. Apparently, before I became a part of the group, which I'm in my 11th year now, but Long Branch in Raleigh used to be the spot. They have some DJs. I wish I had the information in front of me, but just go to thechairmanoftheboard.com, ladies and gentlemen, in order to get your ticket information. But it should be a little shindig going on out there. Cool. Friday night in Raleigh. Saturday night, Brandon Stevens and I will be representing Mellow Groove in a duo format at CCB Bistro and Vine. Shout out to Chef Shanali. We'll be there Saturday night here in Rock Hill from 5:30 until 8:30. So,
nice. Shout out to Chef Shanali, and I will be. It's a double wedding weekend. I think this is my last double wedding weekend of the year. So Friday night in Monroe and Saturday in Lancaster, South Carolina. So we're gonna get these last few weddings out of the books.
Yeah, thank you, bro. Appreciate you. Love you.
Shout out to Matt Hardison.
Yeah, smooth
Shout
sales,
out to Barrett Gruber. Thank you again for joining us, my friend.
No, thank you. This was a pleasure. Yeah, my pleasure.
I was gonna say, Matt, if you got any, my brother has the Smooth Sales online store. And 'tis the season for a little holiday shopping and things like that. Matt, you want to post your link, or you want to post something in the No Shortcuts with a promo code? And if you want to do something like that, let us know or post it. So No Shortcuts family, you can take advantage of doing some online shopping. He has all type of cool things, especially stuff for the kids, a nice little stocking stuffers, things of that nature. So definitely want to plug in. Let me plug my sister too, A Touch of Faith. She makes wreaths. You want to decorate your door or your home with some type of Christmas decor, check out atouchoffaith.com as well, ladies and gentlemen. And I think with that being said, I'm all set. Anybody else got any closing words?
I was going to ask you to hit us with a benediction, man. Go ahead.
Well, real quick, Barrett, because this is before we get out of here. You're the co-host / guest. And being that you do your own podcast and everything, and our platform is centered around entrepreneurship. Give our audience a bit of advice before you leave. If they were thinking about getting into a position of being an entrepreneur and they just haven't taken that last step just yet, that next step, I should say, just yet.
I'll just say this: you can't do anything without taking a risk. The podcast is one of those things that I think we do pretty easily, but it's always a risk. You're going to put out an episode and maybe nobody listens to it, or maybe nobody interacts or whatever. But I think ultimately everything comes down to, if you don't take a risk at what it is that, if you have an idea of what you want to do and you think that you have a path to do it, make that leap, make that jump, take that risk, because ultimately if you don't, you may wind up regretting the fact that you didn't. There are missed opportunities. And if you don't take advantage of those opportunities when they're available, the possibility of missing out on it is greater. And you, what is it they say? You miss every shot you don't take.
Yeah. There you go. So without risk, there is no reward.
That's right.
Because you're not in motion at all. You got to be in motion to receive something.
That's right.
Absolutely.
Good stuff,
all
man.
right, sounds good, man. So now we can give the benediction, Famous.
Go for it.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys once again for joining us today. Whether you joined us on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, whatever means you use to be here today, don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to follow us. Subscribe to all three. I've done it, and then be sure to share this with someone, a friend, a family member. And with that being said, we would like to thank Mr. Barrett Gruber from the All About Nothing podcast for joining us today. Yeah. And we're going to do this again next Tuesday, ladies and gentlemen, probably up until the week of Christmas or so. But feel free to join us next Tuesday. Same bat time, same bat channel. We hope that you all have a great rest of the day and a great rest of the week. Barrett, stay on the line. We'll say goodbye to you separately. Thank you. Peace and love, everybody. Y'all enjoy the rest of your day. God bless.
Peace.